milestone for most business owners, right? Because you're finally in that, very, very secure six-figure zone for your professional services business, and it only goes up from there. As long as you want to go. No, don't think that you have to go and grow like this huge, corporation. We have like 50,000 employees, making a good $1 trillion a month. It's not like that, right? You have control. When you get to $10,000 per month in your business, you have a lot more control over your life and a lot more control over just really the path that you can take. At least that's what it was like for me. We are going live today on Black Friday. Usually we do it on Thursday, but I was all over the place on Thanksgiving Thursday, so I just didn't commit to doing it on Thursday. So I'm showing up today to kind of like break down the different things. So number one, I've got to get my notes because I went to the wrong tab, my remarkable tablet. I'm going to be asking you guys to comment, like, and share different things on this video because I want to make sure, number one, that this video goes out to as many possible people, right? And with the social media algorithms, like the more like engagement we get, like likes, comments, shares, um, the more people are going to be able to see it. And since I don't really charge for these trainings, one way you can support me is by liking, commenting, and engaging on the thing. So the first engagement is number one, write down hashtag Team Live if you're watching this on the live. I know it's Black Friday and I didn't really announce this training. There's more of like a last minute kind of like game time decision. But if you're watching this thing live, let me know so I can like make this interactive. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and write down hashtag Team Replay. I'm actually going to give you a secret training if you're watching this thing on the replay that I want to give to you as a way of saying, hey, thank you for tuning into it even after it's live. Also, what we're going to be doing today, if you want some help growing your business, but maybe like you just don't know what you don't know, or maybe been trying to grow, it's just not quite growing the speed with what you like, go ahead and click on the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call to see if I can help you inside of our program right now. So I will talk to you guys, and let's get into this thing. So number one, what are the biggest things for these three students? Like, what are the biggest three takeaways they had to do? So number one, pricing is the biggest lever you can pull inside of your business to go from, maybe you're at $300 a month or $0 a month to 10K per month. Most people, what happens is we get kind of trapped at these lower price points. So like for me, for example, I did not believe that anyone would be willing to pay more than about $450 per month for bookkeeping services when I first got started. And it was just because like bookkeeping was very easy. It's like for many people, maybe you're like working in corporate America, bookkeeping is very, very easy for you. So you don't really value it as much as with someone who, is going to be hiring you will, right? So we kind of undervalue our service. And what that led to was as soon as someone would say like my price at $450 a month was too high, I would kind of, subconsciously and consciously like, yeah, you're right, it's not that valuable. And I'd be willing to lower my prices. Now, what that leads to is you need a whole lot more clients to be able to go hit up to your revenue goals. If there are people that have, between like 40 to like 50 clients, and they're just breaking 10K per month, versus our students able to get to 10K per month in under 12 clients in many cases. Right now, in some cases, it might be like 2 to 3 clients. Some cases it might be closer to like 12. It just kind of depends on the makeup of the student in the program and like what their average client value is. But the first things first is it takes you a lot less time when you're getting larger size clients because you don't need quite as many clients. Now, what that does is it allows you to be able to take on less leads and it also allows you to be able to do less consultation calls because you don't need to. If you know how to, number one, charge the right price point, people actually like you and they want to work with you, so you don't have to do a million sales calls. And then your marketing can be like average or just not very, very like sophisticated because you have the other fundamentals down. That's number one. Now, a lot of people overcomplicate pricing. A lot of people they want to be like competitive market wise. Now, I'm not really focused on competitive. I'm focused on maintaining a certain cost on my time, and I'm able to give flat rates because I have calculation tools that allow me to know exactly how much time the scope of work is going to take me. So as long as I'm protecting my time and I know what my labor costs are going to be, that's the price I'm shooting for. I'm not necessarily trying to be competitive. I don't care if there's someone up the street where I'm charging the person $850 a month and someone else is quoting that same person $150 per month. It's like, number one, what's going to like separate you from that person is not always price. It can be relationship. It can be your sales skills. It can be your ability to talk about a problem the person's having. It could be your industry experience. It could be your ability to communicate. It could be the person just likes you more than the other person. It could be that there's a million different things that influence whether or not someone will work with you outside of just price, right? So you never want to make your decisions on your business based on is someone going to say yes or say no to my price. You want to make sure your price integrity is as high as possible and you're charging as high and acceptable, like, and like you're not just price gouging. Like, don't get me wrong. Like you can't just like say like let's say the work is going to take you about 5 hours, and let's say you're charging like $100 per hour. That's $500, right? Let's just say just for the sake of the argument that that's like the agreed upon and like fair rate, fair market rate. You can't just charge like $3,000 for that kind of client, without being able to like, communicate. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying price gouging people. What I'm saying is you want to be at the higher side of a reasonable and fair market rate. Now, if you don't know what a fair market rate is, if you're inside our program, we kind of give that to. We give you like KPIs and criteria to know exactly, are you overpriced, are you underpriced, how to prevent underpricing, how to charge exactly where you should be, so that we can go and get to the clientele and the size business we need to in the fewest number of clients possible, and then it just makes everything else easier. Next thing is going to be about marketing. Okay, so when it comes to marketing, a lot of people, just like with pricing, right? And like with price, people just like, well, I want to go look at all like 100 different websites and see like what are they charging. Okay, based on that, I want to go and be able to communicate the value to every single person. I want to like defend my value. It's like, number one, if you're defending your value on every single call, that means that you have a breakdown in your sales process as well as your marketing process. People, when you're doing a really good job, they should not be really asking for you to basically like talk about every single penny and every single line item in your quote. Like that's just not how it works when you're dealing with someone who's a high ticket buyer, number one, and number two, when you have more relationship style sale, right? If you're just offering bookkeeping, just selling bookkeeping and not really selling value, then yeah, you have to kind of go line by line by line with people. But if you're able to convey that value and actually like you, and they see that how by paying you, let's say $800 per month, we'll get them $8,000 or $80,000 a month worth of value. It's a no-brainer. You don't have to go and define your prices, right? So that's just like about really simplifying it. Now, when it comes to marketing, simplification, all it is leads and trust. Leads and trust. Okay. So, first things first, leads are kind of free, right? So, the more that you have, the more confident you feel. Most people, what happens is like if you maybe get like one or two leads a month, and then all of a sudden, like you stop getting month or leads for like months in a row, you start feeling very unconfident, right? Because first it's like, okay, did my marketing mess up? Did someone like write a bad review? Did someone like say something negative about me in the local community? Now no one wants to work with me. Will I ever be able to get a lead again? Maybe the market shifted, maybe it's like a recession or something. Maybe I don't know exactly. Maybe I just suck at marketing. Maybe I just can't run a business, right? You start going down this like negative rabbit hole of all these different emotions, right? So the more leads you have, the more that you just have like this kind of like, number one, faith and confidence that your business is still going to be able to grow. Now, keep in mind, you don't need to have a huge amount of leads. Like you don't need to have, 20, 30, consultation calls a week. I'm not necessarily saying that. What I'm saying is you need to be able to have a process to understand what your leads are. Now, most people should be operating under the 1% rule. So 1% means that 1% of the qualified business owners inside of your social media following or email list should end up working with you. Now, if you just go and scrape or just like take an email list of like 100,000 business owners online someplace, like that's not necessarily gonna, the 1% rule is not gonna apply there because you didn't really earn those leads. But if it's like, social media follows, whether it's Facebook, your LinkedIn business page, if it's gonna be your YouTube channel, your Instagram, or people who opt in on your website to your email list, that's what we're talking about when it comes to like the 1% rule. So you're looking for 1% of people to end up wanting to work with you. Now, if you have more than 1%, that means you're doing really well. If you have less than 1% working with you, that means that you're a little bit behind the eight ball, and you either need to work on your messenger skills to get someone to want to book a call with you, or you need to really just kind of like identify, are the leads that are coming into your marketing ecosystem really the quality that you're really looking for, right? Because there's a lot of people that are just gonna like come into your marketing and like they just won't buy from you, right? So you have to always be kind of like pruning your list, making sure the right people are in there. And even if you allow someone to come on your list, so for example, if you're gonna be sending someone like a LinkedIn request, you need to be vetting the person to make sure this person's actually going to be relevant to what your business goals are. If they're not, they probably shouldn't be on your list. Like you don't just want to be that person that has like 1 million followers on social media but doesn't get any dollars, right? There was a story about this young lady, and she was like an Instagram influencer, right? So she was kind of using her looks to get people to want to follow her. So she does like a lot of like bathing suit photos. She does like a lot of like really racy like photos, right? And she then launched a swimwear line, so like these bikinis. And I think she said that it was like she had to go in order for her logistics company that where she shipped all the inventory, I think she bought like $100,000 worth of inventory before she sold any. And in order for them to start shipping out the inventory, she needed to get 13 orders. Now she has I think it was 1.2 million followers, and she couldn't get 13 sales on her Instagram. 1.2 million followers couldn't get 13 sales of her swimsuit and bikini. When they actually did analysis of her audience, it was like 90% male. It's just like, and the only reason they're following her is because she was like really attractive, right? So it's like, it's not just about the size of your audience. It's really about being able to grow the quality of the audience and be able to really measure that on a consistent basis. If you don't know how to measure like the quality of your lead, like I just gave you kind of a really simple barometer. It was like 1% should be going, but if you need more detail, if you want to do like maybe you have been trying to do that, just not quite working for you, go ahead and join the program. Like we give you that. It's very simple that we do it. Like we keep everything very simple in the program because I don't want there to be a lot of confusion. A lot of times what happens is lack of confidence in business comes from confusion. When you don't really know exactly what you don't know, and you know like I don't know everything. And there's so much stuff that I don't know, it causes you to lose confidence because it's like, well, if I do this, like, what's this unforeseen thing that I don't know? Is there a person standing behind the corner with a baseball bat ready to hit me if I make the wrong mistake or the wrong move, right? So by getting in front of around people that know what to do and know where to go, you're able to move forward faster with more confidence. That's why I invest so much in mentorship programs. Like I've invested about 175K in like masterminds, coaching, mentorship, different programs and courses over the past 3 years in my business, right? That's how I'm able to move so fast. That's how I'm able to keep growing. That's how I'm able to grow like my audience and make sure my audience is moving and like really shaking, right? Next thing is going to be about trust, right? So in marketing, it's about leads and trust. We've already kind of talked about leads. We've already talked about marketing in a very simplistic form. Next is going to be about trust, right? Because trust is like a mixture of marketing and the consultation call. Now, trust does not just happen in the consultation call. What happens is most people like they'll say their price is like $1 million a month, and the person immediately freaks out. And they think that the person freaked out just because of their price. It wasn't because of their price. It was oftentimes something that happened before the price was dropped that caused you not to be able to get the sale. Maybe they just didn't know enough about you before the call. Maybe they just didn't trust you. Maybe they never had read your reviews. Maybe they never seen a testimonial from you. Maybe when you did the call, they got very, very confused. There's a lot of different areas and breakdowns can happen. But at its very, very base level, trust is going to be about really respect and higher prices. The more someone respects you and respects that you can help them out and thinks they can help you, that thinks that you can help them out, the more money you can charge and the more that your reasonable rate actually keeps going up, right? Because the basically what you're doing in their mind with trust, it's about like branding, right? So a lot of people think that like branding means you have like a billion followers. Really, what branding means that someone really understands every aspect of your life. When that happens, they really resonate with it and they see that, they kind of humanize you and they humanize your qualities. They see you on like an equal playing field. That's when you have a brand in someone's mind. And that's when it gets a lot easier for you to be able to like work with people because you don't have to worry about proving yourself. You don't have to worry about like justifying your price. You don't have to worry about like, are they gonna like ask you a million questions about your credibility or where you went to school or how many years experience you have, right? It's because they trust you, they like you, and it makes it a lot easier for you to move. So that's why a lot of our stuff is based on like trust-based consultation calls, right? And there's a million different ways you can kind of like structure your consultation call to build more trust. But really at the core is you're trying to get people to feel bad about telling you no. You have a really, really, really good brand when you invite someone to a consultation call and they say, I don't want to waste your time because I'm just not quite ready to buy, but I just don't want to waste your time, right? Because they respect you. Most people, if they're not really looking to buy, they'll still get on the phone and waste your time, right? And it's just a lack of respect both for themselves and for you. But when they actually want to do it because they respect you and they tell you different things without you having to really ask or pry about it, that means the person trusts you. So for a good example, so it's Black Friday. I was just at the mall. My brother was having a concert at the mall for Black Friday, and basically, it was really really cool. Just a lot of different people. But there's this watch store I like to go to at my local mall, and basically inside the store, like I bought a number of different like jewelry type pieces from this individual. But it's kind of like I have this rule where it's like I respect this person's time. Like he basically, hey, do you want to see this Rolex? I'm like, no. I do not want to see the Rolex, right? Because I respect. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that today. I don't, depending on the type of role, it's anywhere between like 17,000, like 25,000, right? And I just didn't feel like spending that much money today. Like, just being honest, I told the guy. So I don't want you to pull out of the back. I don't want you, pulling out of the vault. I don't want to see that you have 5 or 6 new things, and I don't care. I don't want to buy. Okay. I don't want to see it. I don't want to buy, right? Because I respect his time. And he knows that anytime I've touched a watch in the past in his store, I have purchased it within 5 minutes. He knows. That's why he's asking, can I see it, right? Because he knows I trust him. He knows I like him, and he knows I have a hard time saying no to him once I have the thing that I like in my hand, right? So by being able to do that, that's what a brand is. That's a brand. Like, he's not really widely known. He doesn't have a million people on social media, but in my mind, he's a person who I like purchasing from. That's what we're trying to do inside of our sales and our process every single time, right? And it's just like, yeah, it's just all about that. Okay. So once you have those three things down, when you have number one, your pricing is just set to an appropriate amount that's a little bit on the higher side. Like, you never want someone to just kind of like either feel completely calm about your price. You never want them to feel like, like they hate your price, right? You want to be like around this high thing where it's like they kind of take a deep breath because it's a little bit higher than what they expected, but it's not crazy, right? Then you have to have enough leads and quality of leads to where 1% of them are actually going to want to work with you. And then finally, you need to learn how to build trust before, during, and after the consultation call to make sure that people are willing to pay you what you're worth and they actually want to work with you for the long run. When you have those three things, you're going to be very, very solid. Okay. Now, maybe you've been trying to do these three things, but you just know that it's a lot harder to accomplish and execute than probably like what you're seeing. Like, it's really easy for me to tell you the strategy and to give you like the tactics, but actually executing on them and with the live person where maybe they're going to ask you a question, right? And you don't know the answer to. If you want that support, if you want that kind of person in your back pocket, you can turn to, be like, hey, what should I do in this situation? How should I approach this situation? How can I make more money? How can I price better? How can I do my consultation call better? What's wrong with my marketing? If you want someone who's have more experience and knows exactly what's going on in your specific situation, go ahead and click on the link inside the description, either above or below the video. Book a call with myself or a member of my team to see if we can help you inside our mentorship program. Again, it's not for everybody, but for the people that we want to help and the people who are very confident we can help, we do a really, really good job. And it's not just, just my word for it. We have the testimonials, we have the results. If you want, ask me if you want, send me a message if you want to see some of them. If you're interested in learning more about the program, number one, go ahead and click on the link, book a call. Because when you book a call, it's going to actually take you to a page with a number of different testimonials, number of different interviews, screenshots, interviews from the student's mouth. So you can kind of see like, hey, is Bryce kind of like full of crap, right? If I'm full of crap, like, that's okay. But I think with the number of testimonials we have and the amount of goodwill we put inside the market over the last, I think we got started in 2019 with the mentorship. Over the last probably like 4 or 5 years, we've kind of earned the right to be able to say that we do a pretty good job. So if you want to go find out for yourself and see if it can be a good fit for yourself and for your family and for your life, go ahead and click on the link inside the description. Book a call with myself or a member of my team. We'll see you on the other side. I can't wait to see if I can help you. Have a good one. Take it easy. Talk to you.